I want to introduce, I call her a leadership extraordinaire because she is so amazing and has helped me so much on my leadership journey. Miss Elizabeth Jende Chevalier is on a mission to become the leader, to help you guys become the leader that people want to follow and support. She funnels more than 20 years of experience as a talent management strategist, executive coach, leadership consultant, and trainer into powerful keynote talks and personalized executive coaching journeys, which I have the privilege of being one of her executive coach participants. So you guys, I want to open the floor now to Miss Elizabeth. Miss Elizabeth, welcome to the Virtual Leadership Roundup.
Hello, everybody. How are you? I see some of you are eating. I'm right in the middle of lunch. So hopefully between your munching, which you need, I'll have my voice a little bit louder. I've always, I've spoken over lunch, gathering, get it. I'm looking forward to today. So I have a question before we start to think about. How many of you are finding it difficult to stay on track, to keep things going, to finish what you start, to stay committed to your plans with all this stuff going on around us with the COVID-19 situation and some of the things that we're having in our communities, the injustice that we're seeing? How many of you are having struggles? Me, yes. It's hard to just concentrate sometimes, isn't it? Do you find that sometimes you get thrown off course? You get up on a given day. Yes, I see it, Madeline. I see you guys. Yes, you get up on a given day and you have this plan. You know what you're going to do. You've written it down for those of you that are organized and very detailed oriented. And then the day begins and crap. You get thrown a left curve. Somebody tells you that's not going to happen. Things are turned upside down. Maybe you're at home for the first time in your life this long with your brothers and sisters. How many of you have younger brothers and sisters that is at home with you during this COVID time? Yes. So you're trying to focus on your stuff, and then here comes your brother or sister, and they're throwing you off, or your mom and dad need you to help them, or your caretaker needs you to support somebody or run to the store if you have a license. Then everything's thrown off, and then you're totally frustrated. Been there, right? So have I. Well, today I'm going to talk about staying on track during times of uncertainty and chaos. You guys have had some extremely wonderful speakers on this week that gave you a lot of knowledge, some good advice. Shantavia is so motivating. I sat in on her talk because, like Rashonda said, she motivates me as well. And you've got a lot of information that you now got to take and go forward. So I want to kind of walk you through some things. I got a 3-point message for you today that I believe is going to help you to stay on track. So whether you're middle school or high school, or you're about to graduate, or you have graduated at high school, another part of your life, or maybe one of the adults that's on the conversation. So 3 simple we're going to talk about. Next slide, please. The first is, I would like to, before we ask you this question, I'm going to tell you what the 3 things we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about, number 1, why it's important to be mindful and focus every day and give yourself some love and some individual time every morning or before you start your day. The second thing we're going to talk about is having a disposition of gratitude, a little bit about the science behind being grateful and thankful. Really shift your vision, your feelings, even your health and well-being and your psychological disposition. And then the third thing, you always have a choice. You have to choose. You have to choose every day and sometimes minute by minute. And I will tell you this, at the end of all of this, you have the full capacity and power to do what you need to do right now, where you are with what you have, and I'm going to show you that. But before we begin, I want to know a little bit about you, and I want to know where your struggle might be. So Rashonda's got a polling question that I'm going to ask you, and I'd like to get some feedback. So what I want to know is, what are you most concerned about? Is it school? Is it homework that you have in school? Is it getting back to school, staying in shape? Maybe some of you play sports and you feel yourself getting a little bit stiff. I know I am. Sitting at my desk all day, I ache when I get up at the end of the day. Staying calm, not losing your control, losing control. I know with brothers and sisters, sometimes that can be frustrating. Me being home these last couple months with my husband and daughter, she's 19, and sometimes I got to keep my cool. Missing your friends. Maybe you don't get to see your friends as much or hang out with them or just hang around. You talk with them, but you want to see them. You want to get near them. And maybe being home all the time. No way out, nowhere else to go. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of time. We've got 50% of the people that have voted. When you tell me how you're feeling, that's going to help me navigate this conversation to you for what's most important for you. Wow. And I see that the numbers are coming in. We've got 59% of you that have voted. So let me hear what you have to say. Most of are concerned about school. Most of you are concerned about school. Lagging right behind that is not losing your cool, staying calm. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how you can get up every day and take a few minutes out of your day so that whatever comes your way, you can stay calm. Or when you lose your cool, how you can get back on track, right? Because stuff happens. I lose my cool sometimes. I'm a coach and a trainer. I help people to become better at who they are in their personal life and in their business life, but I'm a human being first and foremost. Got 77% of 70% of the vote. I just need a few more. When you guys tell me what you're most concerned about these days during these times of uncertainty. I'm going to give about another 45 seconds that we wrap up, and then we'll have it, and that's going to be very helpful. Thank you so much. I know that oftentimes we are expected to behave a certain way. Now that we're at home, there's a different set of rules that we stay home, and we have to focus more on when we're doing our homework. If we're on the computer, does somebody else need the laptop? Maybe mom or dad or your caretaker has to go to work and you've got to look after things. You're being burdened, I know, with a lot more responsibilities than you have before. Some of you, your day might feel a little bit empty. At times it feels overwhelming. And some of you may be still going to work. Those of you that have jobs, and you got to go to work, try to learn online. I know school is over, and then get ready for next season. Okay, we're going to stop it right there. Thank you. So if we can share that with the group so they can see. So can everybody see that? Just give me a yay, nay, or thumbs up so I can see, or a yes in the in the chat area. School. So many of you, okay. So just throw a few things in the chat area for those of you who said school. Give me some ideas of what it is with school. Homework, getting back to school, you don't want to go back to school. Give me an idea of what that's like. What your big challenge is with that. Just throw it in. Going and getting sick. Oh, yes, getting sick. That's scary. Just going back in general, protecting themselves, right? And they aren't wearing masks and they aren't washing their hands, and you've got it. I know they've got you guys up, they're planning social distancing, but if people aren't doing what they need to do, maintaining my grades while juggling other things, starting a new school. Oh, starting a new school for the first time in 3 years. I started a school every year of my life. Every year of my life as a young person. I know what that's like. Going back and staying on my classes, the fear of being behind. I hear you, sweetheart. Yes, starting high school. Let me tell you, it's not as bad as it is. There's going to be a ton of freshmen there with you. And believe it or not, there's going to be some really cool juniors and high school people that are really going to care. Being safe, staying safe. Okay. Yeah, thank you. So it looks like the main thing is the psychological piece to that, staying safe and healthy, and some of you are starting things for the first time. All right, I'm going to help you stay on track. So let's begin because we got a lot to talk about. All right, first thing I want to talk about, next slide. This has changed my life. Being mindful. I have a coach. I'm a coach. I help people to figure out what they want, how they want to get better being themselves, how they want to be better leaders in the workplace, how they want to become a leader. And one of the key foundations that I do is helping people to be mindfulness. Mindfulness is simply being aware of what's happening in the moment in your mind, controlling your thoughts, controlling your mind. And with that, you can experience happiness, confidence as you practice mindfulness. It's a practice. I'm not going to explain it. I'm going to go ahead and show you this short video that will give you some insights on it.
Pressure pushing down on me, pressing down on you. No man has fall. Under pressure brings a feeling down, splits your family in two, puts people on streets. Eat it up, eat it up. That's okay. That's the terror of knowing what this world is about.
First one, this is the last time out. He has played the entire game. He would have played the entire game in Game 6 if it wasn't a blowout.
That is just beautiful. Because I think it's really a marvelous thing, that visualization thing you did. Do y'all read about this or hear this? That you used to go up on Mulholland Drive and park
every night
and visualize seeing yourself as...
Yeah, I would visualize,
This is when you were broke and poor.
You know, right, having directors interested in me and people that I respected saying, you know, I like your work or whatever that is. And I had nothing at that time, so it was like, but it just made me feel better. I would drive home and think, well, I do have these things. And they're out there. I just don't have a hold of them yet, but they're out there.
Okay. So didn't you write yourself a check? I heard that you did. Is that true?
I wrote myself a check for $10 million. For acting services rendered. I dated it Thanksgiving 1995, and I put it in my wallet, and I kept it there, and it deteriorated and stuff. But then, just before Thanksgiving 1995, I found out that I was going to make $10 million on, I think it was Dumb and Dumber, maybe.
Dumb and Dumber, yeah. So you visualize yourself like... Visualization works if you work hard.
Yeah.
It's like a kickstart for your day. It just centers you, and your stress levels are just down, and you find yourself interacting in the world much easier and better.
Well, and for people that are maybe a little bit intimidated about taking up meditation, what can you tell them?
Just, there's nothing to do wrong. You can't do it wrong.
I meditate every day, and I normally I do it in the mornings, and I do it for about 10 to 15 minutes. And I think it's important because it sets me up for the rest of the day.
I wish I found some better sounds no one's ever heard. I wish I had a better voice that sang some better words. I wish I found some chords in an order that is new. I wish I didn't have to rhyme every time I sang. I was told when I get older all my fears would shrink, but now I'm insecure and I care what people think. My name's Blurry Face and I care what you think. My name's Blurry Face and I care what you think.
Our lives are filled with distractions. Email, Twitter, texting. We're constantly connected to technology, rarely alone with just our thoughts. which is probably why there's a growing movement in America to train people to get around the stresses of daily life. It's a practice called mindfulness, and it basically means being aware of your thoughts, physical sensations, and surroundings.
There's so many different compelling studies that are showing that this is not New Age gobbledygook. This is potentially transformative of our health and well-being psychologically as well as physically. It can be useful for anxiety, depression, stress reduction.
There have been a number of studies that show mindfulness can lead to those benefits, as well as improvements in memory and attention. And at the University of Massachusetts, Judson Brewer, a psychiatrist and neuroscientist, uses mindfulness to treat addiction.
This is just the next generation of exercise. We've got the physical, exercise components down, and now it's about working out how can we actually train our minds.
Dr. Brewer is trying to understand how mindfulness can alter the functioning of the brain. Since attending the mindfulness retreat, I'd been meditating daily and was curious to see if it had an impact on my brain.
We're going to have you start with thinking of something that was very anxiety-provoking for you.
Okay. When I thought about something stressful, the cells in my brain's posterior cingulate immediately started firing, shown by the red lines that went off the chart on the computer screen.
Just drop into meditation.
Okay. When I let go of those stressful thoughts and refocused on my breath, within seconds the brain cells that had been firing quieted down, shown by the blue lines on the computer.
That's really fascinating to see like that.
Dr. Brewer believes everyone can train their brains to reach that blue mindfulness zone.
The heart is a balloon, shoots up through the stony ground. There's no room, no space to rent in this town. You're out of luck, and the reason that you had to care, the traffic is stuck, and you're not moving anywhere. You thought you found a friend to take you out of this place, someone you can lend a hand in return for grace. It's a beautiful day.
So here's what I want to do. How many of you have, maybe some of you have practiced mindfulness? So mindfulness isn't a religious thing. It's not necessarily a spiritual thing. It can be, but it's a physiologic, it's a practice. So we're going to do it now. And actually, we've been doing this past year. We started with some high school students. We have started a leadership program in the high schools called Project PX, Project Personal Excellence. I'm hoping that some of you will be involved in it, where Jende and I, along with Clemson University, is launching this program across the state. So one of the things we start with every session is a mindful moment. So here's what I want you to do. And with Jende, I would like to be able to see the group as I'm walking them through this practice. If you can change my view, please. Ask you to close your eyes, get comfortable, and we're going to do just a mindful minute, about 60 to 75 seconds. Close your eyes, uncross your legs, uncross your arms. Yep. Blow your nose, whatever you got to do now. And I want you to just close your eyes. And the first thing we're going to do is, in mindfulness, there's many ways to do it. But this one is just, I'm going to help you pay attention to your breath. It's one of the quickest ways to ground yourself. So I first want you to take a deep breath in through your nose, as deep as you can, and then exhale through your mouth, slightly open, and let that breath go as slowly as you can. Let's do it another time. Take your time, a deep breath in. And this time, let it out slowly, but let your body relax as you do it. Yes. So now I want you just to keep your eyes closed and keep breathing at your normal rate. Now I want you to start at the top of your head. We're going to do a body scan. And I want you to pay attention as you're breathing in, starting with your head. Does it feel tight or tensed? As you move down your neck and your breathing, what does that feel like? Oftentimes in our neck or maybe our shoulders, what does that feel like? And on that exhale breath, try to relax that shoulder. Moving down to your chest, pay attention. What is there ache or tightness in your stomach, your lower back? Moving down toward your hips, your buttocks muscles sitting on, and down through your legs, your thighs, your calves, and noticing how it feels. Some people say they feel the tingling in their hands when they relax. You might feel that tingling in your feet right now because you're simply relaxed. Now, I'm going to give you a few seconds to just sit here quietly without my voice, and I just want you to pay attention to your body. I'll let you know when you can open your eyes. So just breathe just as you would. No deep breaths, just normal breathing. What is your body telling you? You may have some thoughts coming in. You may be thinking about things you have to do. That's okay. Just let those thoughts come and let them go. Don't judge them. You don't have to go into them. Just imagine you're putting clothes out on a clothesline, and you put them on the clothesline and you walk back in the house and you leave those thoughts out there. Or you're driving down the street, you see an object, and then you don't. Just let your thoughts come, no good or bad. Now this time, I want you to scan your body from the top of your head, bottom of your feet on your own rhythm. But every time you're to a place that is congested or tight or uncomfortable, take a deep breath, breathe through it, and when you exhale, give your body permission to let that tension go. Let it go. You're the most important thing right now at this moment. You and your body. Let it go. Breathe in what's good. Let go what you don't need. Okay, I'm going to ask you in just a few seconds to wiggle your toes and your hands and your feet and open your eyes when you're ready. And come back to the room. Wow, what was that like? Anybody, you can either unmute or
yes, that was fun. That was. I'm like relaxed now.
What was that like? Relaxing.
Relax.
Anyone else? I didn't hear you.
Relaxing.
Yeah. Did you feel uncomfortable, anybody? Anybody feel uncomfortable? A little uncomfortable at first to sit still to what seems like a long time, but it's only about 2 minutes because we're not used to. We're always going, right? Did you feel like you were, some of you said it was very calming, very rejuvenating. Did you feel like you were going to kind of go to sleep like, oh my God, right? Sometimes I slow down, I'm going so fast, I don't realize I'm so tired. You ever feel so exhausted, and then when you sit down, your body feels it, you didn't know how tired you were, right? Well, that's what mindfulness does. So here's some things I want you to think about. Yes, you felt like you were going to go to sleep. I know, that's normal. And sometimes you might, but that's why we ask you to kind of sit up straight, get comfortable, but don't lean back. I notice a few of you don't lean back because you probably will fall asleep, okay? The goal of this is to relax the body at any time of the day you want. Mindfulness can last anywhere from a minute to 15 minutes. But you can take advantage of this. Let's say you've got a test you got to go into and you're nervous about it. Doing this exercise for 1 minute can help you to just regroup yourself. right? You may have a game coming up. You may have to talk to your teacher or somebody about something, or your parents about, some of you said you're nervous about starting a new school. You can use this mindfulness. And here's the thing though, you need to practice it. When you practice it on a daily basis, feel the difference in your body. I promise you. I have always been growing up, very anxious. I was depressed for many years of my life. I was in my 20s and 30s, anxiety pills. I was having anxiety attacks, and I was on medication for almost 10 years. And I got tired of taking the medication because it would make me sleepy or have other side effects. It served its purpose, but it was time for me to get off. And it was when I started looking at ways to control my thinking and my mind and using mindfulness, I was able to gradually come off of those pills. I don't take depression pills anymore. That's because of some other things I'm going to share with you. Women have a stronger likelihood. Young girls do, young ladies do. So we have to be extra careful about that. Mindfulness can also help you to be stronger and more focused for the day, okay? So it's a practice. Now I want to move over to the next slide, and I want to talk about the second practice that you can begin in helping you to stay focused. And this is practicing gratitude, being grateful for things. Now, I'm not talking about just walking around life and go, oh, I'm so happy, everything's wonderful, life is perfect. No, crap happens, stuff rolls our way, plans change, people say hard, feel badly, we fail. And listen, you're going to fail. You're going to make mistakes. I still make them. Sometimes you may even feel like you're making the same mistakes. As Shantavia said, failure is a good thing when you use it in the right perspective. So gratitude is about shifting your perspective on the world. How many of you have, just think about a time when you failed at something and you felt so horrible about it, and then you really didn't want to try at it again, either because you were embarrassed or you just thought you couldn't do it and you thought, what a waste. We have all those negative thoughts. Well, when you learn to be grateful and learn how to shift your focus to a mind of gratitude, your failures can turn into pillars or stepping steps. So I want to talk to you about a couple things on the benefits and why gratitude is one of the most other powerful practices you can have. So it's not just a feel-good thing. Here are the benefits. Studies have been showing people that practice gratitude on a regular basis, they feel better. They're more satisfied with life. When things come up that don't go our way, we're able to shift our thought and find the good in that situation. With better relationships, it also helps us in health-wise. We get a stronger immune system, so things are going on behind the scenes. We have better sleep. We release what's called healthy chemicals in the body, things like serotonin, that really helps us to feel good and give us energy. So choosing how we think and what we think, instead of harping on the negative stuff, finding that place of gratitude is going to change the chemical makeup in your body. It changes your brain function better. It helps to, which I told you I struggle with. So how does this actually work? How does one of gratitude? Well, I would tell you this, it's not easy. It's not easy because as all this stuff is coming to us right now in our lives, we talked about earlier, it's hard sometimes to find the good in things. One of the ways to do it is you practice it on a regular basis. So you can actually practice it while you're in the middle of your mindfulness, quieting yourself. So here's how it kind of goes. For me, every morning, when I get, some mornings I miss, and I feel it when I do miss it, I get up and I journal, I keep. And by the way, I have a journal I keep for general things, but I also have what's called a gratitude journal. This gratitude journal is filled with nothing but 66 items in here. It's filled with nothing but things I'm grateful for. And by journaling in this, I keep it somewhere nearby. I try to do it in the same place every day. So I have a little room. It could be your bedroom, wherever. I have a room that book stays there. And most days I put something in it. I try to put something different every day. It can be simple things like, I will read you a couple excerpts from my book. The beautiful sunroom I'm sitting in. I can see clearly out the window. I'm grateful I have. I'm grateful that it's so quiet this morning. I can hear the birds sing. I'm thankful for having a highly creative mind when it comes to problems. For my best friend who always helps me see the best in myself, for the warmth of the space, for the mistake I made today and what I learned not to do next time. So gratitude doesn't have to be about these big things, right, in your life. It could be, thank you that I have a roof over. Thank you that my parents still have a job. Thank you that nobody in my house got sick with coronavirus. Thank you that we're all safe. So having that sense of gratitude is actually going to help you to be healthy, happy, and also give you an inner resilience. So when it comes time for you to have to make those decisions that you're going to have to make on a daily basis or stay focused on your goals, you're going to be able to do it because you have a better sense of well-being. So here's what I want you to do right now. I want all of you to take a few minutes, and hopefully you have some paper in front of you. And so I'm hoping that most of you do. If not, try to find one. If not, throw it into the chat box for me. And I want you very quickly to think of things that you are grateful for right now. And you can do it in a couple words. This is for you. So you can even begin your journal now by just throwing it on paper. And then when you have a moment, you find a journal or something you can write in, and you start logging it and watch what happens. Go ahead, take a few moments. 3 things you're most grateful for today, right now. And then I'm going to get some of your input. Can I see the groupers? I see you guys are writing, yes. Here's what's going to happen. If you start this journal, and I'm going to say to Rashonda, I got a lot of those books left, Rashonda. I got a lot of these our journal books. Where are they? Do you remember our orange leadership books, Rashonda?
Yes, I still actively use mine. This is my leadership journal. So
okay.
I would love if you want to raffle off, that can be our raffle for today.
Yes, well, I'm going to raffle off 5 of them. Ooh. Yes, I am. I'm going to raffle off 5 of them today. And I want you to start. This says, be the leader people love to follow and support. And you can start journaling today. So I'm going to raffle off 5 of them. Now, here's what's going to be amazing, guys and women. When you start to, and just make it a journal book, a grateful book, when you start to write down what you're grateful for, and you go back in a couple weeks or a couple months, you're going to be blown away. And here's a secret. You heard in the discussion when Oprah was talking to, what's his name, Rashonda? Oprah was talking to the movie star who had the $10 million check in Gary. And Jim Carrey was practicing a concept called where he was using mindfulness, but he was investing for himself for the future, right? And so he wrote down, and he believed he was going to get that $10 million check. Here's something I want to tell you. Here's a secret a lot of people don't know. This is powerful, you guys, because I came from a broken home. We were beat. My mom was beaten. I was beaten. I can tell you so many in my personal life that I'm amazed I'm sitting here today with you. So here's the thing. You can write down what you want, give thanks today as if it's already happened. And maybe it's something that you won't see for 4 years, like, I'm grateful that I graduated college with good grades. I'm grateful that I have a job I love so much. I'm grateful that I've got, $10,000 in the bank. I'm grateful that my friends have supported me, or whatever it is. And go back to that. I'm grateful that my family has peace now. Whatever it is, write it down and keep going back to it. Okay? It's an amazing thing. All right. So I just want a few things, you people to tell me what you're grateful for. Just throw it in the chat. It could be a word or two. Let me see what you're grateful for. Love seeing other people's gratitude. Throw something in the chat for me. What are you grateful for?
I think we got a couple already. They started before you.
Oh, let's see. Healthy grades. Wow. Okay. God, that weather is nice, that my dad is safe, family, faith. Yes, yes, praise God. I'm grateful to have a life, health, and strength. I'm grateful to sleep in. Woo! I wish I could sleep in. Have some of my family by my side, life and God and family. My job, yes, my dog. Oh, dogs, I want a dog so badly. My husband's not a dog guy, so you guys know Miss Elizabeth has a dog, and maybe I'll get a dog, okay? Because I want a dog so badly, but my husband's not an animal person. Right. How do you feel when you write down things of gratitude? Think right now for a minute. How does that make you feel? Feels pretty good, huh? Kind of feel, oh, I see this. To have such a, yes. You feel proud. It lifts your spirit. You feel you can do the things you're supposed to do. You know what gratitude does? It clears the way so that you can think more clearly and more calmly, so that you can begin to feel powerful to make the decisions that you have to make. Let me tell you something. Many young people, yes, it encourages you, reminds you of what's important. You're going to make mistakes, ladies and gentlemen, and even when you think you got this all handled, you're going to make more mistakes. But the power of it all is this, or the wisdom. You are a powerful. You have everything you need right now on this day to do what you need to do in your life. So whether that means you need to do something and make that decision or not do something, talk about that in a minute. But I want you to know that. So whatever happens, whatever mistakes, whatever someone says to you, that power comes from within. Take that time each day to have a sense of gratitude, even in the midst of your mistakes. Third one, final one I want to get to before we open up for questions. Okay, send me back to that PowerPoint. Daily. Let me tell you something. You're now, most of you are in middle school or high school, and you get to make a lot of decisions. Do you know we make over 30,000, well over 3,000 decisions in one day? Science and studies have shown us, think about that, over 3,000 decisions a day that we make. Now, maybe some of you aren't quite doing that yet because you don't have to pay mortgages and cars and decide where to take a vacation and all that. But you have to make a lot of decisions moment by moment. Decisions like, should I continue going out with that guy and he treated me like a jerk? Or do I start my homework on this project now? Or do I wait till the last minute? Or how do I tell Michelle that I don't really want to go to that party? Or how do I ask that girl out? So you have a lot of decisions to make. But here's the thing I want you to keep in mind. You can use the mindfulness and focus yourself to get calm. You have gratitude so you can clear the brain, so more good endorphins, so you can appreciate and shift your mindset. But that's not going to be enough to stay on track. It's not going to be enough to get what you want in life. Ms. Shantaria said one of the hardest things is doing the work, and it's true. There will be people in life, and I know them, so do Rashawn, how to, and feel better books, but they never move the needle on their life. And that's because they don't make a choice and they don't get up and do the work. So you always, here's the thing I want you to know, you have a choice. So maybe you say, no, I don't, Elizabeth, in my family, they control, when I go to school, when I wake up, I got to do chores. That's fine. Here's the thing, you have a choice to do your chores, or you have a choice not to and get the consequences. You have a choice to do your chores easy, fast, sloppy, good. So there's always a choice. The thing is, I want you to remember, making that choice and decision, here's what happens again to our well-being. When we choose not to do things or to address a situation, and we just linger and wait, hoping it'll get better, or someone else will do it for us or fix the problem for us, we oftentimes will get into even a bigger rut. We'll feel more like a victim, powerless, And we then can feel more depressed, less competent, and less powerful. And that's not what I want. Here's the thing, making a choice, taking a choice and choosing is always a risk. Decision making is always a risk. Nobody can predict the future except God. Nobody can predict the next 5 minutes. With great reasoning and analytics, we can somewhat guess the best way to go, but there's always a risk of when you get up, you're going to fall down. But here's the thing, when you are in motion and when you start to move and take responsibility, you start to feel better about yourself. And then you'll be surprised at what you can accomplish, right? So when I was alone and depressed and thought I wasn't worthy of much, and someone once said to me many years ago, oh, maybe you would be good as a seamstress. Oh, they didn't believe, I had a degree in college, but they didn't believe I was capable of doing anything else. And I thought, okay, there's nothing wrong with being a seamstress, but I want to be a psychologist. I want to help people at work become better at who they are. After, in spite of what this person said, I was scared, I made mistakes, but when I got there, I went, oh, you can do this, Elizabeth, and you can do more, and you can be a trainer, and you can go get certified as a coach, and you can write books, and you can do these things. So you take those steps. So then before you know it, you go, wow, that was scary, but now that I'm on the other side, I can do it because you're a powerful being. So I'm going to sum this our discussion with 3 things. And get my next slide, please. You got this. Be mindful, spend time with yourself every day, a minute to 5 minutes. And I encourage you the first part of the morning or sitting in the parking lot or go in the bathroom in school. I don't care where you go. Go find a couple minutes and let the body go. Grateful. Have an attitude of gratitude. It is not just a nice feeling thing. Psychological and emotional things are happening in the background. Trust it. Trust God for the way He invented us. That's what's working. And choose. Make a choice. Even if you choose not to do something, because that's the best thing to do, it's still a choice. All right? So in final, I want to say, you got this. Own it. You can do this and get what you want to get accomplished, and you can feel better in the process. I'm a living testament to that. Now, I want to ask you, before we open up for questions, I want to ask you one final question. Go back to the poll, and we're going to do a quick poll again. You guys have spent the last couple of days learning a lot of things with your guest speakers, and I'm sure your brain is probably on overload, but we want to continue developing you. Rashonda and I, we told you about Project Personal Excellence, where we're helping young people and intend to go into the middle school soon. We want to know, what is it, what else would you feel would help you to become a better person as you continue to grow through high school, and or as you continue to grow as your own leader? And let me tell you about leadership. Leadership is not only about being the boss of somebody else. Leadership is taking control of your life and being your own leader. Great. I see you guys are answering. Awesome. Communication skills, building confidence, managing my emotion, working in teams, preparing for a job. Here's the thing. You guys want to learn. I love it, because learning is the #1 thing I tell leaders today. I don't care if they run an organization and making $2 million a year, or if they're just starting out for the first time. Keep learning, keep growing, keep learning about yourself, keep learning about others, and so that you can be the best part of you that this world needs so desperately. We need your smarts. Wow, we got 60% voted. Wow, being confident. Yes, let me tell you something. I struggle some days with confidence. Rashonda struggles some days with confidence. Some of the people I work with that lead multi-million-dollar organizations struggle with confidence. It goes in and out. But some of the practices I just started talking about this morning, ladies and gentlemen, can help you. When that confidence is shattered, helps you to pick yourself back up. Okay, that looks good. I think we have a really, really good thing there. We're at about 71%. And it looks like building confidence. You want to share the results? We've got building confidence, yes. And this is typical and normal for young people. I see these So thank you. That's some great information, isn't it, Rashonda? So that's going to help us to be on the right track. But it looks like you want some support in all those areas, and we're going to continue to focus on that. All right.
Absolutely. So now I would love if some people want to go ahead and unmute yourself and ask any questions that you guys may have, or we can read them from the group chat, whichever one that you feel comfortable with. But you can either unmute yourself or you can ask your own question. Paige, and you can go ahead. I see Paige has a question.
Hi, I'm Paige, and I'm a very goal-oriented person, and I like things a certain way. So when it comes to working in teams, I'm not the best sport because I like things to be my way. And sometimes people don't meet the expectations that I have. So how do I overcome that?
Wow, Paige, you sound like my daughter, Monique, who's the same way. So you must be a high achiever. And then let me tell you something. Many leaders struggle with that. So how you overcome that? Now, let me ask you this. What if nobody on your team, because you're talking about schools, on your team did their work? What would you do? If they didn't do what they needed to do, what would you do?
I would do it because they're what they makes me also, and I don't want it to affect me, so I would do it.
Okay. And how do you feel about that when you have to, let's say you had to carry the entire team, it was a team of 5 or 6, and you had to do all the work. How would you feel?
I would be upset, but then I would still be driven to do what I need to do. And because they don't do it doesn't mean that I won't do it. So I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that I get what I need to.
Okay. So going back to, we have to learn to feel good about what we're doing. I'm not saying be happy-go-lucky, but the more we can stay calm, keep our emotions out of situations that we have to do, the more able we can make critical decisions. So what I'm about to say to you is very important. And I promise you, you're going to remember this in 15 years or so when you're leading either a major function in a company or leading an organization, Paige, because I think you're going to do that. So you're going to remember this. Here it is. Do whatever they are allowed to do and get away with, all right? Some people by nature are a little lazy. Some are a lot lazy. I'm going to call it what it is. Rashonda's shaking her head. Some people are go-getters and take full responsibility like you do. And probably many of the people that are, and I would assume all of the people on this call, because you did not have to be here. Zach, none of you had to be here. So I'm going to say this is the A team that I did today, right? So the first thing is people will do whatever they are allowed to do. So the first thing to do, take the individual or individuals one by one. And the first thing is you have to confront them, but you have to do it in a respectful way. So here's the thing. Let's say Rashonda's not upholding. Hey, Rashonda, I'd like to have a conversation with you today. Can we sit and talk over lunch, or can we have a little short Zoom call? Yes. So Rashonda, you know, we've worked on this project and a few before, and I want us to be successful so we can all make a good grade. What do you think? Would you like to do that? Yeah, sure, I would. Okay, well, you know, in the past, or I've been carrying and doing a lot of the work, and while I'm capable of doing it, it's not fair to me because I get tired and so it's not helping you to get better at who you are and what you're doing. And I want to know, help me understand why you can't seem to get this in on time. What's keeping you from doing the work in the way that we had outlined? Are you having some trouble? Is there something we need to talk about? So the first thing I did was, instead of making assumption and saying you lazy so-and-so, whatever, I'm sick of you, I tried to seek to understand. Seek to understand, then to be understood. So Rashonda might say, well, you know, I'm not really good at writing. My English is bad, and I feel like I'm going to. Okay, so is that the only reason? Is there anything else that's preventing you from doing this? No. Well, how about you do your first draft? If you can at least get your draft in, blah, 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 and then you move there. Now, it could be a person that's lazy and they're just not turning in the work and they're good at what they do, but they're never on time. Then that's a different conversation. So Michelle, well, you know, I have this, I have that, and I have this. Well, Michelle, if I didn't turn it in on time, where do you think we'd be, right? And then what kind of grade do you think you're going to have? Do you want me to be responsible for you getting a C in this grade or flunking? No. So I need you to step up. So what can you do to make sure you get it done on time? So I can ask for it a day early, right? You can do that. If people are late, they don't have to know your deadline and you're the head of the game or the team. Make that deadline earlier than what you needed. Was this helpful? Big thing is to seek to understand why they're challenged, share how you feel about it, share that you want to help them, but share your feelings also, and then talk about let's move forward with the solution. Okay, who else?
Wow, somebody asked a big question. How can we get our high schools to implement the Project PX program?
Call Rashonda.
Here, it's coming soon. It's coming soon. We are in our final stages of piloting it and getting out to some schools. We were able to pilot with 9 schools. Before Corona, before COVID-19 hit, it kind of put our plans, changed our plan, but we were able to go out to a couple of schools. So we look forward to introducing that to the state, the schools in South Carolina.
Okay, any other questions?
Any other questions? Feel free to unmute yourself.
And just jump in.
And Paige left a comment. She said, I'm glad that you mentioned seek first to understand, then to be understood, because I attended a Leader in Me school based on Stephen Cove's 7 Habits.
That's right. Yes, seek to understand. I want to tell you that, it was a long time ago. I was your age, but I will tell you, I work with some of the most interesting and powerful people, and I've been very blessed. But I will tell you that every single one of them started where you are. Not quite sure how to get things started, what to do. I see a lot of people that are very brilliant and capable, and they can't move the needle on their life. And many times it's not because of your lack of knowledge, of choices. It's your lack of discipline. And so these last 4 days, you guys have learned a lot. You got a ton of information. I know you won't remember it all. Choose 1 or 2 things that you can pick up and start to discipline yourself on doing. So whether it was some Mr. and Mrs. Goody, I believe, said, or something I said today. Take 1 thing or 2 and practice it and master it. This is how you're going to get ahead. Do not let the rest of this knowledge you get just go by the wayside. I don't believe you will, and I want to hear from you. All right, there. I'm done. This has been a pleasure.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to the giveaway.
Yes, so you guys, you know how to, congratulations to our raffle winners for today, which was right up my alley. Eliza Grace and _ Thomas T. So today, make sure that you guys follow us on social media. Share your nugget for today, and we will choose 5 raffle winners tomorrow who will receive this lovely, I don't know if you guys can see it, but this journal is quality. It's amazing. So we will give those out. So make sure that you share your nuggets with us today on Instagram. Tomorrow we do have our panel. We close out with our panel discussion on is there justice for us? We are going to start promptly at 11 a.m. So make sure that you are on time. Ms. Elizabeth, I'm not sure if you're looking in the chat, but everybody is saying thank you so much.
I learned so much. Say to you, thank you. Well, first of all, I always learn. If you really want to reach something, teach something. If you want to know something more, start teaching people. Paige, I gave you some great ideas for it or whatever. Once you learn it, teach somebody else. I want to leave you with this one message. And this I learned from Arthur Ashe, who was one of the first Black tennis players in our country, in the world. And this is all about being powerful. Start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. That's all you need. I wish you guys the best. Blessings to all of you. Thank you, Rashonda, for having me.
Thank you. Oh, do you have you're not
on, but you can send that out later because, you know, this young woman here Yeah, I'm on Instagram. We're on Facebook. We're on LinkedIn. Rashonda can send you our handles.
I'll
and I
tag
can
you guys. We'll tag her today in a post because I have a couple of quotes that I definitely want to share today. So I will tag her in a post today. But thank you guys so much. They keep going, Miss Elizabeth.
I see that. Can you say that quote again? Yes, I am. And actually, I'm going to send that PowerPoint to Rashonda because I didn't send it. It's called, I just like to help people become more powerful. Doesn't matter where you are. Start where you can right now. Don't think about money, resources, or whatever. Start where you can. Second, what you have. That means whether it's your friends, your knowledge, the internet, whatever. Use what you have and do what you can. You would be amazed when you do that. Start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. Listen, I grew up very, very poor, ladies and gentlemen. I would come home from school, and there were half a dozen times in my life I saw my living room and bedroom furniture on the front walk for people to walk by because we were kicked out of our homes. I was a single parent and was on welfare and many of these things. So if I kept my mind over there, if I looked at myself as a victim that was helpless and said, I don't have enough money, friends, or people, I wouldn't be here sitting, talking to you today. I wouldn't be Rashonda's coach, right? So don't think about that. You have everything you need right now in this moment. Be powerful and be blessed.